Welcome back, everybody. Let's talk about trends for a minute. Back in episode 19, it was our very first episode of the new year. We shared 7 Instagram trends to watch for in 2022. It's still our most popular download to date of 2022, and we are heading into the last weekend of February, almost March. First of all, you'll want to go listen to that. And then I did a live training on Instagram, and you're going to hear a little bit of that today and some advice that I gave on the heels of that 2022 trend advice that we gave. So let's talk about growing up in the 70s for just a second, shall we? All right. Those of you who are in midlife, have already raised your kids, you're in the caregiving season, you're going to you're going to know where I'm going with this. So we had the prairie dresses. We had the wings up above our sleeves. We had the big sleeves. We had the flared skirts with like the 2 tiers, the long dresses. Then we had the giant bell bottoms. We had the polyester, all of that. Not to say I don't think polyester is making a comeback. Could be wrong about that. I've just seen about everything by now. So I lived in that era. And now you go to Target and it's all back. It's back. Trends are back. The bell bottoms, the flared skirts, prairie skirts, the wings on the sleeves. It's back. I don't even want to go there. I don't want to go back. Probably not going to. I'm just now getting used to my ankles freezing. Okay. Like the jeans, the skinny jeans can't touch the booties that we wear on our feet, those booties. So I'm just now getting a grasp on that. So anyway, we're talking about Instagram trends here. So this live was a follow-up on how to use what works. So trends come and go, as we know. And trends are big on Instagram right now as far as when you're working with reels, the sounds. So if you come up on a sound that a lot of people are using, it's good to hop on that sound and use it yourself. But those trends have a lifespan, just like the prairie skirts and the butterfly wings. There's a lifespan. So in this live, I gave just a few minutes of solid advice on how to use your own unique voice in Reels. So listen to this advice. Go to Target if you want and buy the prairie skirts. But you can learn how to lean in to your own unique voice and stand out. And maybe, hey, here's a thought. Start your own clothing trend. Do your own vibe, Catch your vibe. Catch your vibe. This is a really quick one this week because we split it up because at the end of the live, I had a lot of questions about Reels and Reels ideas. And people were asking my advice on what they could use for their industry. So I gave some solid advice and we're going to share that next week in the podcast. And maybe it'll spark some creativity with you. And you won't have to follow all the sound trends and all the prairie skirts. And you can make your own trend. All right. So one more thing. Stirrup pants are also in. I did this when my oldest 2 were babies. They're like 30 and 32 now. Come on, guys. Come on. So let's go off of the clothing vibe and into this very practical, short podcast episode. Listen in.
Welcome to Authentic Online Marketing with Ruthie Gray. Growing awareness for your blog, podcast, book, or product involves more than dancing to reels and yelling, "Buy my thing." This show models quality over clamor so you can put your spin on your message and market in a way that feels authentic to you, because nobody wants to sound like an infomercial. And now, here's your host, Ruthie Gray.
Hey, everybody. As promised, we want to talk to you about, we want to further the conversation that we started on our podcast, Authentic Online Marketing with Ruthie Gray. On Monday, the podcast was all about 2022 trends and predictions. And we want to take that conversation a little bit further today to just kind of go a little bit deeper into what maybe you might need to hear or what you need to know to do with your content this year. So the head of Instagram the other day made an announcement, and he said, we are experimenting with what you want to see in your feed. We're experimenting with chronological, or, you can even tailor your feed to what you want to see now. You can mute people. You can mute them for good to where, or you can hide them to where, you're still following them, but you don't have to see their posts. There's a lot more that you can do now than you could do before. And that's just one of the trends that's going on that we have noticed now. So let's talk a little bit. Okay, so we know that Reels and video are hot, and we have people that are reticent to get on the video bandwagon. It's hard, but you can fit it into your schedule. Here's the thing. Here's what we know is working right now: video. Okay. So you could post as many infographics as you wanted and static posts. However, if you wanted to shorten the amount of time that you're on Instagram, then use what Instagram wants you to use, which is video, and you'll maximize the time that you're on the platform. Sometimes we make video harder than it has to be in our minds. You don't have to video yourself all the time. You can video, check out my reel today that I did. I just did my messy desk. There's all the cords everywhere. Life of a podcaster. There's the ring light. There's my notes. There's 25 tabs open on my on my Mac, and then at the end, I just put a picture of me. There's a song in the background. It took me 15 minutes to do that. Okay. I put some text on there. So if you kind of have an idea, just write down some ideas. If you don't have ideas for video or reels, we have 40 free ideas we'll give you. So if you're not on our email list, send me a DM right now, or go to my website at ruthiegray.mom. And there is a quiz at the top bar, Reels Personality Quiz. If you fill that out, you'll get those 40 free ideas. You'll want to get on my newsletter because I give even more detailed, deeper wisdom on entrepreneurialism as a Christian on Instagram and what you can do. So that is in my email. Like there's one I just sent out this morning. If you read that, let me have a thumbs up. I know most of you guys did. Most of y'all get my newsletter. So it's valuable and I spend time on it so that I can help you guys grow. Okay. So maximize your time by using video on the platform. And I will answer those in just a few minutes. Okay. Thank you, Melanie. Y'all need to be a member of Ruthie's fan club. Yes. Get in the fan club. Get on my newsletter. Send me a DM. We all love to maximize our time. Yes, we do. And so what we've discovered too, from the 2022 trends that are happening is the more you're on the app, the more Instagram is rewarding those people on the app. They're going to push your content out. But as a Christian entrepreneur, do you really want to spend all of your time on Instagram? Most people don't want to spend all their time on Instagram. So what you have to do is maximize your time there. So that's why we're saying, if you'll use video, you don't have to be on there quite as long as if you would post every day, 5 days a week, graphics. Does watching lives count for time spent? Well, no, it doesn't really. I mean, unless you're engaging, that helps the other person, but it doesn't really help you, Instagram wants you to be on the app and never leave, but you have to create some boundaries so that you're not always on the app, right? Because we don't want to be. One boundary I want to give you, a little tip that I do myself, is turn off your notifications. Just turn them off. There's no way you can be an entrepreneur and be creating content every day and realizing that you're growing your business and get notifications 24/7. You can't do it. Turn off the notifications. Don't let them be a distraction to you. I don't have any of mine on. I don't know who has commented on my latest Instagram post or who has sent me a message until I actually physically go in the app. And on weekends, I remove the app. The way iPhone works now, you can remove the app, but it doesn't go away. It's just not on your home screen anymore, which really kind of helps, if it's not there, if it's not visible. So that's number one. I would say, if you don't want to be on the app all the time, but you want to maximize your time, use video, use what works. Don't spend all day on it. Subscribe to our Reels personality quiz where you get 40 Reels ideas. You can also use those on any kind of video, long, short, medium form video. Long form video is coming back too because Instagram is trying to keep up with YouTube. So any kind of video, any kind is going to be rewarded. Yes, turn them off. Just turn them off. Turn off the notifications. Okay. So another thing that we talked about was there are shorter trend lifespans. So, what a trend is, it's like a sound, like you'll see it on one. If you're scrolling Reels, you'll see it. Everybody's doing the same thing. Like for a while there, it was, wow, 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 wow. Well, that's no longer a trend. And you're going to see those shorter and shorter. So if you're going to use a sound that you see that's prolific, you better jump on it. Otherwise, something else that we advised on the podcast. And by the way, if you listen to the podcast, please comment. We'd love to know. I know most of you watching right now have listened to it. Okay. So a good idea would be to start making your own original content, use original voice for your background. You talk, you video something. You use your own voice because that's your original content, and you can name that in your title too. And that can be shared to Facebook. So you can get an even broader reach. I don't know if you've realized that or not, but there's a setting there in your Instagram account where your Reels can be shared to Facebook if it's original content. So if you want even more exposure, try to tap into that to maximize your time on Instagram. Hey, everybody. I listen every week. So good. Awesome. Star student right there. Okay. Let's see. Love the podcast. So helpful. Thank you so much, guys. So like I said, this works in your favor as far as with the shorter time spans on trends. You have an opportunity to shine and stand out from the crowd with your unique content. So you need to be developing your own voice. It needs to be original. It's not like anybody else. Even if you're selling the same product as someone else, you can have an original voice because you have an original personality. Don't be afraid to let yourself show up. Just show up. You're just a person like everybody else, and they're just people just like you. People connect with people. That's what people want. They want real connections. And they want someone that feels their pain and understands them. And that's how you can be different. If you're always blasting buy my thing or, here's this product, take it, it's kind of a turnoff to people. But if you're giving value, educating them on things in your industry, like I do with, entrepreneurialism, even podcasting sometimes, but mostly Instagram tips, or newsletter tips, or how to market online. And I put my spin on it with my personality and my blue and my barnwood wall and all that kind of stuff. People start connecting with that. They start seeing that. Okay. So basically, those are the big trends that I wanted to talk about. So I gave a couple of ideas of how to use your own unique voice. And I want to give one more that I just did recently. Most people really do like a glimpse into someone else's life and their work and the whole process. So something I did just recently was a reel where I took several different clips of myself during the span of a few days, and I spliced them together. And then I used a little bit of a background music, a little jazz music, and I turned that sound way down and I talked over top of it. I did a voiceover about who I am. My name is Ruthie Gray. I run Authentic Online Marketing, and I'm a business owner. And I reach people in 3 specific ways. One is through one-on-one coaching. And then what I did was wrapped it up with book a discovery call, a 10-minute discovery call. I'll answer your one burning question, and then we'll discuss which of these 3 packages fits you if you want to move the needle forward. And so it was simple. If you're already taking videos, then you can just use those and trim them and splice them. It doesn't have to be hard, but you can be a unique, singular voice in a crowded market. And that's what the head of Instagram was trying to convey to us is, yes, you can use trends, but we're going to be looking for those unique voices. So you have a chance to stand out. You have a chance to have your own trend instead of the butterfly sleeves and the prairie skirts and the stirrup pants. How about you break out into song? That's kind of how I built my brand on this podcast, was by leaning into myself, into my gut, into the person I really am. And I know a lot of you out there are hesitant to show who you really are. And that's for 2 reasons. The first is you're scared it won't work. You're in your own mind. You're stuck in your own head. I get it. But if you don't move, then you'll never know, right? You have to test and try. The second reason is because a lot of you are in midlife and you're afraid your kids are going to make fun of you. Listen, all my kids are young adults. I am so past that. I'm over that. Here's the thing, y'all. We have to start embracing who we are in midlife. I'm getting on a tangent here, but it's true. You have to embrace who you are and step out of your comfort zone and stop being scared to embrace who you are and step out of your comfort zone. Maybe I should make up a song about that. A new trend, possibly. It's important. If your message is important to you and you feel like it will help someone else, then it's time to get in front of the camera. It's time to start experimenting with the reels, because reels are what works right now. Sure, there are other things that work, but reels work a lot faster. You reach a broader audience and you can get off the app and then you can get on with your life. Don't forget, you don't want to post and ghost. You want to post when you can be present to answer comments, but you don't have to be on the app all day long. That's not what we're asking. That's not what we're preaching. So use the trends to your advantage, but make your own trend. All right, let me see your work. When you post your reel, share it to stories first and then tag me so I can see it. We don't have to go back to the stirrup pants, y'all. I'm just now getting used to the cold ankles. Let's move forward. Let's make our own trends. You can do this. Be your own unique voice in your own unique way on Instagram. I'll see you next week for part 2.